Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to share the books that I read in 2020 with you. And this is the part 2 of the series. This is the second part of the books that I read this year. You can find the first video in the series down in the description. And in this video series, I'm just sharing the books that I read. I'm sharing some ideas about them. And my idea here is just to deliver you what I read. And hopefully, if you have any questions, ask, of course. Today we have the other part of the books. Only one book I think is missing. My friend has it, and down in the description I'm gonna have the timestamps for each book. So if you see something here that you are interested in, then yeah, you can just find it down there. And yeah, I'll try to deliver my ideas about the book that I read. I'm pretty much a bookworm, been reading a book a week for a few good years now, and I think it had a huge impact on my life. Mostly in good ways, and it's a very good habit that I developed. And yeah, let's start, I guess. So as in the previous video, in this video also I'm starting with the biography. We're gonna go from down, or actually from up to down. I have different things here. I have a bit of religion, game even. It's gonna be interesting. Some biographies, some business, some leadership, whatnot. So shall we? Let's start, and hope you like the video. Like it please if you do. And may you share it, and also you're gonna find the first part of the videos down in the description. Please do not watch it now. You can watch it in the end of the video. I'll also link it to you. So the first book in the books I read is Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger, My Unbelievable True Life Story. Maybe we can do it like that. I'm gonna just put the book here. So a pretty good biography. I'm into biographies. I truly believe that you should read biographies of different people, because in biographies you can find the life stories and the experiences and the failures and the winnings of very famous people. And Arnie has been a big idol of mine. I've been working out since 2011, I think, in the gym, and with some better periods, some worse periods, but he has been a pretty much great motivation for me. And aside of that, he also became a wealthy person kind of from nothing, which is kind of inspiring as well. And there's a lot other things to his name. And so that's Total Recall. Would really recommend you reading this book. I think Arnie has a great story, and he's a bit of a narcissistic person in my opinion, from what I could understand, but doesn't matter. He still deserves what he deserves. He is a great, person, and he achieved a lot. And in my opinion, he is very inspirational. And I would recommend you generally reading his story. So yeah, that's Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger, My Unbelievable True Life Story. It has about, 600 pages, and with some pictures as well, with some life stories. It's funny at times, and it's touching at times. I would recommend you. So that's number one. I'm gonna put it down there. Number two. Oh yeah, and I wanted to mention that some books here are in Hebrew, some are in English, some are in Russian. I read in these three languages, and I'll try linking down in the description also the books for you and in English. I know that some of you and most of the people here are English readers and listeners, but I'll try finding the kind of the same version of the book in English for you, but I will probably not find it for some of these books, but I will try at least for you. Right, the next one is 366 or 366 Datot Lalev by Eileen Cady. 366 Doors to the Heart. So that's like a book that carries a message for each day of the calendar year. And these messages are kind of messages of inspiration for you to read, and kind of self-motivation, being sure in yourself, being self-confident, I would say, and a bunch of other stuff. Like for every day, you see 19th of February, there's 20th of February, 29th of May, and it's I would recommend you reading that. You can even read that more than once. It was an easy read for me. It's like, I don't even know how many, there's no page numbers here, but I would assume there's like at least 300 pages here. Eileen Cady, 366 Doors to Your Heart. And yeah, this is essentially very inspirational book, kind of self-help book. I would recommend you reading that. Also, I'll try to find it in English for you through 366 Doors to the Heart. And another gold nugget I found this year is The Art of Teaching by Gilbert Higgett. And it's a vintage book. It's from 1950. And essentially, this is the art of teaching. And I would recommend this book to teachers, to people who maybe teach you on YouTube and Udemy or generally in life. It kind of shows you the at least the guy's approach to teaching. He talks about different kinds of students, different kinds of teachers, different ways of teaching, different ways of being a better teacher, essentially. And I really recommend you that book. I finished it like recently, and it's an easy book. It's from 1950. You can see it's kind of old, as you can see here as well. But I really recommend it to you, especially if you're teaching someone something or if you want to be a better teacher. Very nice. There's some methods here, how to control different groups of individuals. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I would recommend it to you as well. The Art of Teaching by Gilbert Hickhat. Hi-hat. Yeah, let me just put it like that. Let's continue. Oh, that's a good one. The next one is coming here. Boom, that's your next 5 moves. Master the Art of Business Strategy by Patrick Bet-David. Now, I've mentioned already Patrick on this channel. I recommend his YouTube channel. It's called Valuetainment. And on Valuetainment, oh, maybe it's better like that. On Valuetainment channel, you can find tons of content for entrepreneurs. How to grow your business, how to control yourself as an entrepreneur, how to stay motivated as an entrepreneur, how to pick a business partner, what are the good skills of salespeople, and so much stuff. There's like over 1,000 videos there, one of my favorite channels. And now there's a book by this guy as well. Maybe he has other books, I'm not sure. It's called Your Next 5 Moves, Master the Art of Business Strategy. So pretty much this book, in my opinion, is going to be great for those who are running a business already or for those who are about to run a business, right? And it says you will gain clarity on what you want to do and who you want to be, strategy to help you reason in the war room and the boardroom, growth tactics during both the economic booms and busts, skills for building the right team based on strong values, insight on power plays and the art of applying leverage. Well, there's a lot in this book. And generally, I like the straightforward teaching style of Patrick Bet-David. He's an immigrant from Iran that moved to the United States. And in my opinion, this is a very good book. You should get it. In my opinion, one of the better reads this year. Some of these are better, some of these are not that good reads, but this one, in my opinion, goes to the better part of my reads. And yeah, go master the art of your business strategy and grow your business. I wish you great growth in 2021. By the way, you're probably watching in 2021 already. So yeah, next one is, that's a J.D. Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye. And I read it in English previously, and now I decided to read it in Hebrew. So I took it from my friend Amit Rosenthal. Amit was a guest on the channel. He's a friend. We created a course together. He has a freight forwarding company. He ships goods all over the world. And yeah, so I was at Amit's house, and he has a library of books there. So I was just like, hey man, can I grab a book? And I thought of reading The Catcher in the Rye again. So what heck is The Catcher in the Rye? It's like a 3-day story of a guy from New York. He's like 15, 16, I believe. And he just tells what he does. And I mean, maybe it sounds like what? But yeah, that's a book that it's worth reading once maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a satire on the society or something, or a critique of the society. I'm not exactly sure, but it's just a story of a dude in New York. I'm not sure the exact years. Maybe it's worth your time. Again, it's probably considered one of the better classics, you know, Salinger and all the stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's nice in my opinion, again. Also, I just gotta tell you, The Great Gatsby, this also kind of considered one of the greatest books, of American greatest books. I don't know, I didn't maybe understand it too much. Maybe that's because I'm not American, but yeah, maybe I should move to the States for a while. Never been there yet. The next one is Убеждение, Brian Tracy, and уверенное выступление в любой ситуации. So essentially, this is Brian Tracy. Maybe you know, he does sorts of business coaching and motivational coaching. And this is about how to be confident in any situation. And убеждение means kind of, I'll show it up here. I'm not sure about the translation, but it explains you how to be confident in any situation. All right, it talks about talking in front of groups, and talks about how to talk in small groups of people, how to use body language, how to talk with a deep voice and stuff like that. I should do that more, I think. And a bunch of other stuff. Pretty good book in my opinion. My friend Andre gave me these 3 books and appreciate that. And I think it's a nice book if you are someone that talks out, if you're someone that would like to essentially improve your self-confidence, and mainly if you want to talk in front of people, or just if you want to be more self-confident, but mainly it's about talking out in groups, individuals, whatever. Nice book, nice book. Brian Tracy. I'm not sure if I read other stuff by Brian Tracy, but that's a pretty good one. Let's continue. Next one is Itzhak Pintasevich, Уверенность в себе и ораторское мастерство. That's, again, if I'll be able to find it in English for you, I will. If not, then sorry, at least the Russians can read it. I have Russian friends. So Itzhak Pintasevich is like a business coach, again, in the Russian community, the Russian-speaking community. And this is self-confidence and the art of kind of talking out, or art of talking to the crowd, or something like that, ораторское мастерство. And yeah, pretty much is kind of the book that's kind of similar to the previous one by Brian Tracy. And yeah, it shows you like some ideas of self-confidence, how to talk to people, some self-motivational books, how to think like a winner, how to act like a winner, believing in success. In my opinion, nice book. It's like a book, a training book. It's like a little course book. Very good for those, again, who want to talk out, who want to maybe just improve their self-confidence generally. Why not? Why should you not? You deserve to be self-confident. You deserve the best, in my opinion. So yeah, it's a pretty nice book. I recommend. Let's continue. The next book is Natasha Zackheim, The All Ideas of Robert Kiyosaki in One Book. So this is Robert Kiyosaki, as you can see. And essentially, these are all his ideas in one book. So, you know, if you read the Rich Dad Poor Dad, the Cash Flow Quadrant, Retire Young, Retire Rich, and a bunch of other books, then she kind of talks about all of them in this book, and she tells how she went from pretty much nothing to getting passive income. A lot of here about a passive income, and yes, this does exist. Passive income, you can actually build your business in a way that it brings you money while you're sleeping in a passive way. So in this book, yeah, we're gonna find different ideas of Robert Kiyosaki. I think it's a good book to read. Nothing too special. I mean, just she shares her story. She shares what she learned. Pretty good. I think she also has like different coachings and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe it's like built like a little funnel. Although it's not like, it doesn't have any QR codes to scan or any links here, but yeah, it's a nice book. I think it was nice. It's like, what, it's like one day read. Let's see how many pages are here. About 120 pages, so probably you'll finish in like a day or something. Very nice book. Pretty cool. Let's continue. More now. I kind of just put them in different there's no specific order of when I read it, or I put them just randomly in one after the other, but whatever, let's continue. Right, so that's a very strong book I read this year. This is the Bhagavad Gita, as it is. It's in Russian. So this is one of the more sacred books to the Hindu people. And essentially this is a conversation between Arjuna, not Anjuna, right? I'm just not, don't want to make the mistake, and Krishna, all right? The god Krishna and the warrior Arjuna. Anjuna, I think it's a place in Goa. I'm just, yeah. But, all right, so look, I gotta tell you that one of the best reads I read this year, and I'm not a religious person myself, honestly. However, I do get a lot of inspiration from religions and from religious people, because there's a lot of wisdom for sure that is carried in religions. Like Hinduism is very old religion, and in this book, you're gonna just get like life mastery, in my opinion, different things like maybe like relationships, the way to treat the world, what to eat, how to process thoughts and whatnot. It's a very big book. It's like, again, conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, the god. And this is specifically this one is in Russian, so it has like little translations. You know, it's very hard sometimes to read religious text, especially if they're written in Sanskrit. You don't know this language, right? But here it's like Russian translation, so there's some in English, although I think here they claim that the English one is not that good. I'm not sure exactly. One of the better reads this year, in my opinion, Bhagavad Gita, as it is. And yeah, I would recommend it to you if you want to get more insights on your life and generally on life as life altogether. A very great read. Again, I'm not a religious person, but I do read religious books. I think it's very healthy, and there's a lot to learn. So yeah, Bhagavad Gita, very recommended. Next, let's continue. So this one was sent to me by my friend Tzvi from Jerusalem, and a few books here. So the first one is Love, Ahava, Tzmichat HaKesher Bein Ish Ve'isha. It's like love and the blossoming of the connection between a guy and a girl. And it's a bit controversial to what we're going to be reading here. We have the mystery method here and the game. We're going to get to that in a bit. We're going to get to the game part of my life as well. But it's essentially a book that here's like a little tree that is being explained here. Maybe you can see it right here, of how a healthy relationship should be created, let's say, and in different stages of it. And in my opinion, it's a very nice book as well. It's, interestingly enough, Tzvi sent it to me in a very interesting part of my life as well. But it is just going to show you, again, based on Hasidut. All right, I didn't mention that. It's like, I guess it's like a, how to say, a flow of people in Judaism that are Hasidim, we call it. And again, I'm not a strong religious person, yes, and also the Kabbalah. But there's a lot of wisdom there, a lot of wisdom, specifically in this book and generally in Hasidut. So, and this is by Harav, the Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg. And I think it's a great book, again, for connections, if you want to enhance your connection between you and your girl, or if you're a girl, between you and your man. And I think it's very good. I've learned a lot, and the process towards a healthy relationship is kind of written down here step by step. Pretty good. I mean, I would recommend it to you if you want to enhance your connection with your loved one. And the next one is also the present of Tzvi. It's Olamot, mean worlds, Sharim Chadashim LaKabbalah VeChasidut. The new gates to Kabbalah and Hasidut. I'm not sure if there's a translation to Kabbalah and Hasidut, but essentially, so Tzvi, my friend, he is I would say Hasidi. I'm not super religious, so I'm not the most understanding in this, but this, it kind of gives you a glimpse on what is also the Jewish world, how it looks, but also the Hasidic world, and a lot of wisdom here also for a day-by-day stuff, all right, to your soul, to again, the way you treat things that are coming into you, and the way you treat the world. This is about worrying. There's also some stuff about the religious holidays of the Judaism and how they came to be. A lot of good stuff. Really, I thank a lot Tzvi for sending me these books. I really enjoyed reading them, and again, I'm not a specifically super religious person. However, I've learned a lot, and I do, Tzvi, appreciate your gift, and let me know if you want me to send you some books, man. Thank you. So that's Olamot. And the next one is, funny enough, probably one of the best books I read this year as well. It's also by a rabbi, and his name is, let me just tell you, and I'll tell you how I found this book, by Shalom Arush. He's a rabbi. And it's called Began HaChochma, Maaseh Michacham V'Tam, Madrich Ma'asi L'Simchat Chaim. This is like in the garden of wisdom. It's the practical guide to happiness in life. And wow, it's a story between two brothers. One is considered smart and the other one's considered tam. I'll give you the translation here. I'm not sure. I'll add it later on when I'll be working on the video. But essentially it tells the tale of two brothers when one of them is very full of pride and everything, and the other brother is not. And it tells like a short story about their life, and then it goes into explaining each part of the story. Wow, this is a crazy book, very good book. And funny enough, I found this book near the trash can near my house. And I just saw this book. I was like, hey, it seems like it should not be thrown to trash, right? So then I picked it up and I read it. And in my opinion, one of the greatest reads, surprisingly, this year. You see how things sometimes turn out? This is Maaseh Michacham V'Tam, Began HaChochma, Madrich Ma'asi L'Simchat Chaim. Very good book, and what can I say? If you are full of yourself, if you are superbly me, well, it might work for you, might not work for you. There's no cheat codes to love, there's no right way to live. However, I don't know, maybe it's not the best way to live. Anyhow, let's continue. The next one is Paulo Coelho, The Valkyries. And look, I love Coelho, like it's, The Alchemist and a bunch of other stuff. However, The Valkyries, I didn't really enjoy that much. Valkyries, he goes with his wife to Mojave Desert in America, I believe, and they are encountering the Valkyries essentially, and they are trying, as usually in his books, kind of to understand their path, etc., etc. Honestly, this is my least favorite book of Paulo Coelho, but I wouldn't read it again. And maybe if you just want to read some stuff of Coelho, I would actually go with The Alchemist, or how was that? Oh, I forgot, when they're going to that through that pass between France and Spain. Also, I'm gonna show it here when it comes to my mind. But yeah, The Valkyries is so read by Coelho, and I really didn't enjoy it that much, honestly. Yeah, next one is סוד המוח היהודי by Aaron Katz. So it's like טכניקות לפיתוח אינטליגנציה וזיכרון מצוין. So this is the secret to the Jewish brain, different techniques to improve your intelligence and have a great memory. Very nice book, very nice book. This book goes like a story of a few guys that are trying to kind of understand the secrets of the Jewish brain. And throughout the book, they also share different techniques for better intelligence and better memory. I really like this book. Very nice book. And just for example, I think it's from this book when he says, like, essentially, you know, if you want to remember names of people in a group, and you should kind of create a story connected to the group. So recently I was in Nazareth in northern Israel, and I met a very cool group of guys from India. I mean, they're Israeli, however, they were originally born in India. And, you know, in order to remember their names, I kind of created a story. So there was Pratik, who was an entrepreneur. He was the husband of Nancy, who was the wife of Pratik. And there was Ronnie, who was their friend. And he was also the friend of Ofer, who was the driver, for example, something like that. I don't exactly remember what kind of story I came up with back then, but I kind of created a little story that I remember to myself. And then I was like, okay, this is Pratik. Oh yeah, he's the husband of Nancy. So, and Ronnie here is their friend, and Ofer was the driver, you know. So like, you can create stories to remember things. Just one of the examples. I think it's from this book, maybe not. But yeah, it's a really nice book. I would recommend you reading that again. סוד המוח היהודי, The Secret of the Jewish Brain. And the next one is מועדון I think this one won't be available in English because it recently came out in Hebrew. Looks very fancy, right? It's מועדון ה-100K. גלה את 4 סודות הכסף לצמיחה אגרסיבית בביזנס, וכנס בלי בושה למועדון המתעשרים החדשים בחזית הדיגיטל. So, essentially this is the club of 100K by Manu Ben Harush and Idan Waller. And these guys are, Idan is an online marketer and Manu, I guess, as well, but they're kind of partnered up to create this very nice looking and very good to read book. And essentially it's like 4 secrets to grow aggressively in your business and to get to the new reach in the digital frontline. Very nice book for those who are probably Israeli and have like, or people who read Hebrew, because in my opinion, yes, it carries a lot of knowledge specifically for digital, and it's a new book, it's late 2020, and it carries a lot of good information about copywriting, about how to think in order to be successful in business or in digital, or specifically what kind of services can you provide in the digital economy to make 100K a month. That's like a 100K a month club. Well, that's in shekels. That would be equivalent to about $30,000 a month. I'm still not there, but hopefully 2021 I will get to that point as well. But yeah, it's very nice. A lot about sales here. It's a very good book in my opinion for those who are English or actually Hebrew speakers. I mean, hopefully it's not gonna fall. Yeah, I just want to remind you that I would appreciate if you like this video as well and share it with someone you like probably, or someone you want to read more. Omar Khayyam, Rubai, so that's in Russian, and Omar Khayyam is a person that used to live back in the day. Yeah, and this is Rubai. So this is like a series of short kind of stories, or how you call these, short, not songs, but short like aphorisms maybe. It's wisdom by this guy Omar Khayyam, okay? I believe he was, I just don't want to say random stuff, but Arabic perhaps back in the day, and or maybe he was Persian. Sorry, I'll kind of show it here again. Here's a nationality. But he was superbly wise guy, all right? And in these Rubaiyat, he also shared in English, he just shares about 300 something of these little wisdom kind of quotes, 349 actually. Yeah, it's about the path in life, about happiness, about sadness, about love, about drugs even, I believe, if it was about alcohol he talked. Whatnot. Very nice book, and it's easy to read because all of them are like short, but it's very nice. It's like all these things about probably how to live a better life, how to be more aware of yourself, of your strengths, the weaknesses, a lot of good stuff. Omar Khayyam, Rubaiyat. Pretty cool. Let's continue. Next one is Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and that's Archipelago Gulag. That's Gulag Archipelago. Essentially, this book is about the times when the Soviet Union was still present and the way that people were sent to Gulag, essentially to work for the Soviet Union, but in very bad occasions, in very bad circumstances, all right? They were sent to be essentially slaves, and people would get punished. And he says everything in this book about all this time, about how it works. He even mentions some names of people, and he shares some very, very sad stuff. This is hard to read book, by the way, just so you know. I mean, if you are, if you have Russian roots or Ukrainian and you're someone from the USSR, I would recommend you reading this book. And those who are not, are not in this ethnicity, still, it's very interesting to see how stuff was back then in the USSR. It's hard to read book, in my opinion, and as far as I remember, it's just how, like, some punishments that were, how people were very badly treated sometimes, how people would talk about each other behind each other's back, and people would go to prison. It's kind of sad as well, but I think it's a must-read, actually, for those who are from the USSR, perhaps. Yeah. Next one is YouTube Secrets, right? Let's go to something more fun. YouTube Secrets. It's the ultimate guide to growing your following and making money as a video influencer. Sean Cannell and Benji Travis. Very good eye-opening book for those who want to create a sales machine on YouTube. And generally, you want to do YouTube, you want to be a video influencer, make money through this as well. I mean, it was life-changing for me, all this business that I create here on YouTube, and generally the journey on YouTube here, and everything that happened is insanely awesome. But I would really recommend you reading this book and generally following video influencers, because again, if you want to make money as a video influencer, if you want to have influence as a video influencer, this is a very good book for you. It shares different secrets that are connected to YouTube, how to grow there, what kind of mindset you should have, some practical things, what kinds of ways there are to make money on YouTube, different success stories of different people. And yeah, I would really recommend it to you if you want to start doing YouTube for your brand or for yourself as a personal brand. YouTube is a very strong machine. I think it's here to stay for a few years, and I'm betting on it very strongly. Who knows if it works or not. And the next one is Rules of the Game by Neil Strauss. And okay, let me kind of tell you a bit of my story. What the heck are these rules? Master the Art of Attraction, 30 days. Tell you a little life story of myself and how I've gotten to the game, so to say. There's also the next one. I have the mystery method here. For those who are familiar, maybe you are familiar. For those who are not, look, from 17 to 22, I dated a very nice girl, and she was my kind of first in kind of everything. And we then split, okay? So after we split, and yeah, she was an awesome girl, but I guess just, we were not meant to be together. And then after that, I was free to be, to explore, to meet others. And luckily enough, I was lucky enough to kind of find some other girls quite quickly. And then I also started being a lifeguard, and it was a pretty good time of my life. However, I want to tell you that I was not superbly confident with women. So essentially, I finished that relationship and I had no idea how to approach. I had no idea how to play this game. And again, luckily I kind of got lucky, a few good times after this. But somewhere in 2014, I wanted to be even more strategic about this. And I wanted to understand how to talk better to women, because women, they used to surround me a lot, but I didn't know exactly how to talk to them. I was shy and I was not confident, and I guess I wanted to be better, right? In order to find the better girls, probably, and just to find girls, right? So and then I've gotten to the game. Now, what is the game? Game essentially is there are probably many ways to talk about it, but it's kind of the better way of talking to the other gender. Now, there's might be also a game for girls who want to get different guys or whatever, but for guys, it's essentially being more strategic and understanding how the process of attraction works and how to talk to girls, how to attract them. And I gotta tell you that it doesn't happen, right, by reading books. Like, it does maybe, but you will have to go to the fields, what we call, right? You have to go and break your fear of approach, and you're gonna go and talk to women. And I'll tell you one thing, and it's very sad in my opinion, that maybe not sad, I don't know, and this is by talking to many guys, my friends, and many guys don't even approach girls in terms of, many guys are shy, and like I was exactly. Not saying that I broke the code or something. It's still not easy for me. However, after being a few good years in that, the skills kind of get polished better. However, you still gotta practice. It's like not that if you kind of get a few times very good results with talking to women, it will just stick forever. You gotta endlessly practice. It's like an art that you can, do for life. But what I gotta tell you that guys are not, they're victims sometimes of circumstances, right? What does that mean? People get into relationships where they meet someone that's a mutual friend, that someone introduced you to someone else, but they don't approach the women that they really like, that they see on the street, and they don't know how to, they're shy or whatever. I understand. I was in the same position, like 100%. Like if you literally take like I was literally one of the biggest failures in this. I had to go and talk and approach probably like hundreds upon hundreds of times, and I got rejected a lot. I failed a lot with women. However, I also met, like very awesome girls that I'm really grateful for the time that I've spent with them, that they spent with me. And essentially what I'm saying is, this is, by the way, I forgot to talk about this. This is Neil Strauss, The Rules of the Game. So I've read a lot of this kind of literature, of game, of improving these skills of talking to women. And Neil Strauss, Mystery, Rushvi, David X, Be Relentless, that is, in Russian, Vladimir Shamshurin, Alex Leslie, Жизнь без трусов, Мужская книга номер один, that's Shamshurin, and whatnot. Like, there are tons of books, but I'll tell you one thing. Books are not gonna get you laid or whatever. You have to go to the fields and talk and try social dynamics. You're gonna have different situations, and I have like bazillions of stories to tell about things that happened to me in this time when I was, practicing all this. Like as I told you, I failed like bazillions of times, but also, with the failures comes your successes usually. And so I would recommend you, again, if you're a guy that you are a bit, you want to improve this game of yours, maybe start from reading, start from understanding, because I tell you, dude, you deserve the best, right? You deserve the best girls, and I don't want you to one day wake up and say, hey, like, what, like, and you can't be too old for that. There's no too old, too young. It can be done in any age. You can just go improve your social skills. Well, do you think you don't deserve a great woman? You do. Why not? Go find them. I mean, maybe it sounds easy, yes? And again, for those who are like me, who are like total like failures, whatever, then it's gonna take some time to talk, to to improve yourself. But yeah, I gotta say that it's good. Eventually, you will attract the women that you are dreaming about. You will be able to approach on the streets, in malls, nightclubs and pubs, during your walks, whatever, the women that you really desire. Not just walk past them, look into their eyes for a second, then just go like that. I've been there, trust me, but also I've been on the other side, and the other side is kind of better. But so that's Rules of the Game. Neil Strauss, essentially in this book, he kind of, he shares the practical ideas of how to improve your game, okay? Same here is the Mystery Method. It's by Mystery, and forward by Neil Strauss, so by this dude. And also it's about some techniques, methods, and how to improve your own inner game, right? Inner game means that, if you're inside your brain, you're unconfident and you are thinking negatively, then they can feel it, the girls. And girls, if you're watching, you probably, you can say that. Same for the guys, if the girls is kind of less confident in herself, we can't feel that, etc., etc. So there's a bunch of stuff to that, but again, I would recommend you generally, because it's not only about sex, right? It's not only about getting laid. It's generally about finding a good partner for yourself, understanding yourself better, improving your confidence, and it's really fun to get to know more girls, right? And I would recommend you really to go and have fun. Now, as I mentioned before, we were talking about this book Ahava by the Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg, which, how to say, it's a bit different, right? Here it's it's kind of controversial, but go find what's better for you. I am not, how to say, I'm just sharing what I've read, what I've understood, but for me, all these failed, nights or days when I went out to meet girls and I approached and I failed and I got rejected, they made me only stronger. Because eventually I also find the girls that I was able to, to understand better, and we got to great connections together and all the good stuff. So I would recommend you kind of getting in the game if you would like to improve your social skills and maybe find the woman that you are really deserving, because don't settle for something that you don't want truly inside you. No need to do that. Let's continue. Been too long. I kind of wanted to talk about this because it's a very big part of my life. I've been in the game for specifically I started reading when me and my ex-girlfriend, we broke up, and my mythological girlfriend, we broke up in 2012, and then we so then I kind of started trying to date and everything, but then I wanted to improve it. Summer 2014, I started being more strategical, started reading, started going out to the fields, and good times. To this day, it's pretty good times. So, and then the next one is Sayeret Matkal, המבצעים הגדולים של היחידה. This is about Sayeret Matkal, which is like the SWAT of Israel, right? And maybe you've heard about Sayeret Matkal, היחידה, the unit that's called. And this is the biggest things they've done in terms of the biggest operations they did, right? And I would really recommend you checking out this book if you want to see a very strong army unit, and again, how they're built, their values, their different operations that they did. And it's by Avner Shor and Aviram Halevi. There it is, very good read in my opinion. Also would really recommend you reading if you want to understand more about Sayeret Matkal, about the unit. And it is very interesting stories of what they did. And I would recommend. I really enjoyed this read as well. I'm not sure if it's there in English, but I'll try to find it for you. Right. Hope you're enjoying still. And next one is Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. How great entrepreneurs build their business and influence, and how you can too. Essentially another good read by Gary V. I read all his books this year, and in my opinion, it's pretty awesome. I think it's his second, or no, I think it's his last book, all right? It is a state-of-the-art guide to building your own path to professional and financial success, but it's not about getting rich. It's a blueprint for living life on your own terms. And there's different people who are maybe friends of Gary V that maybe took his advice and stuff like that, and generally how to act if you want to be a better entrepreneur, how to run your business, his different advice. Very nice. Gary Vee is very modern, I would say, with his approach. And it's pretty much, in my opinion, good for any business. Specifically, it's good for social media, as you can see here, for those who are influencers, but not only. Generally, if you want to use social media to improve your brand and your sales, I would recommend you reading all the books by Gary Vee. I have another one upcoming there. So Crushing It by Gary Vee. And it's a pretty good book. And the next one is this one. It's called Morton L. Mendel with John A. Brown, Asod Tamun Be'anashim Al Nihul U'Manigud. The secret is in the people, about leadership and managing. So Morton L. Mendel is a billionaire philanthropist and very big businessman. I believe he passed away a few years ago. And a very good book about his principles, and generally about leadership and how to rule people, how to be, not exactly rule, nihul means I'll show it up here. It's not easy. It took a bit longer than I thought, but whatever. It's not easy sometimes between languages, but a very good book, because, when you're learning from billionaires, it's insanely great for the price of the book. And he shares different things about values, about how to talk to your employees, how to influence the employees, how to build an organization and the structure of organization, and a bunch of other stuff. Also his stories here of this guy. In my opinion, very nice book, and also about self-motivation. A lot of good stuff here. And again, once you're learning from billionaires, you are gonna probably get some good stuff out of this. So Morten L. Mendel, the secret is in the people. Oh, we're almost done. And the next one is crush it. Cash in on your passion. Why now is the time to crush it? Cash in on your passion. Or why now is the time to cash in on your passion? This is the first book of Gary Vee, in my opinion. And yeah, it's also, he's talking about social media, about the way to engage with your audience, how to talk to your audience, and different ways of monetizing your brand in a way, how to differentiate yourself. It's from 2007, and I think that he was very ahead of his time, Gary Vaynerchuk, even back in 2007. And this book is still very worth reading, in my opinion. As I mentioned, I read all his books this year, and this is one of the better books this year. Yeah, how to create a community, and he talks about different social medias here as well. Read it. Yeah, read everything by Gary Vee, in my opinion, because again, if you're someone who's in the online space as an entrepreneur, and you're using social media as well, you're building communities, you're building brands, this is gonna help you. The next one is At Sof HaOlam, and by Shlomo Korach. This is Until the End of the World. This is a book that very much touched my heart, because this is about the son of Shlomo, Niv. And Niv got lost in Tibet, all right? And also he traveled like a backpacker, and he got lost. Now, this is very close to me because I also backpacked for about a year of my life throughout Southeast Asia, and I've met many good people, and I'm very adventurous. I like the thrill of the of the backpacking, of the traveling, of going somewhere I don't know, just getting on a random bus with a bag and just going. This makes me feel alive. I'd recommend it to you. But in this book, the father Shlomo talks about how he is looking for his son. Very touching book, very interesting, because also I was there in the northern India, close to the Himalaya. I was traveling there, the most beautiful places on earth, in my opinion. I would recommend you traveling there. And yeah, it's an interesting book. Yeah, you should read it. I'm not sure if it's available in English, but yeah, it's Until the End of the World. Of course, I'm not gonna spoil for you what happened, but yeah, the next one and the last one. Mipo Amenahel by Yehoshua Stauber. Who is the manager here? And 150 practical ways to managing your employees. Who's the director here? 150 ways of how to be a better manager, how to talk to people, how to show empathy to your workers, how to understand what they do, how to talk to somebody that doesn't do what he said he should have done, how to create an environment of doing in the working place, how to give a good example of yourself, and probably 145 other things that I didn't mention. It's a very easy to read book. It also has like different pictures here and stuff like that. So, that's a funny one. Look at that. So look, it's the second. Oh my God. I feel like it's gonna fall now. Let me just, let's hope it doesn't fall, and if it does, then it's just gonna fall. At least we are getting close to the end here. Look, the first part of this video where I read the other books that I shared, or where I shared the other books that I read this year, is down in the description. And let me kind of sum up 2020 in reading. I think it was even a bit more than a book a week. I also listened to some audiobooks, and I consumed a huge amount of content through YouTube and other stuff. I think it's the biggest year of learning for me. It was generally, I consumed the biggest amounts of information ever in my life, I think. This is life-changing. Reading books is life-changing because there's a lot to learn from all these people. No matter if it's religion, if it's game, if it's YouTube secrets, if it's biographies or whatever. You need to understand what you want for yourself, right? You gotta understand what needs you have. And then you have the simplest way to read books because it's cheap, it's not expensive to buy a book. A course, very expensive it can be, right? Although not necessary, but a book's usually it's cheap. And it's very affordable way to learn, I don't want to move it, it's my fault, I just want to get a bit closer to you. But again, I'll have all of them down in the description for you as different books. And we're gonna have timestamps as well for each book and maybe links if I'll find them. I do really encourage you, go read stuff. Don't neglect it. It's gonna give you the results you want. Trust me, I've been reading for a few good years, I think, actually since the childhood probably, but I really got it on a fast pace like a few years ago since I very much started doing business. And it changed my life, Also, when I was talking about the game, the game really changed my life back in the day. It's so freaking awesome, just remembering all these things that happened. But really read, and then you're gonna have to implement. Like, it's not just, if you read, for example, any of these books on how to, or for example, we're gonna read the ways of how to be a better manager. You have to implement them. You have to try them, to test them. If you're gonna read a book on how to improve your communication skills with women, it's not going to help you if you're not going to go there and talk to women and just kind of practice the things, So read, take it to practice, read more, and hopefully you're going to be successful, happy. I wish that to you. I wish you a great 2021 ahead. Up here, you're going to find the first video in the series about reading books. And let me know if you even like this kind of series. I don't know if it's interesting to you. I hope you did enjoy the video, and if you didn't, dislike it. If you did, like it. Thank you a lot. Watch this one. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.